Hey everyone, and welcome back. Our next guest is a pastry chef and co-owner of Mo Jay Pastry. She is a Spanish Harlem native with a passion for all things natural and sweet. And after changing her trajectory from medicine to the hospitality industry, she studied at the Culinary Institute of America, where she found her craft as both a sugar artist and cake decorator. With background in classical French culinary, Jaleesa and her husband opened up Mo and Jay Pastry, producing gourmet madeleines to finessing eclairs, combining old school techniques with new school flavors as Oreo, strawberry basil, and Nutella. That sounds so delicious, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, Jaleesa is now bringing that Spanish Harlem flair and all these natural and sweet to the Food Network's season 8 of Spring Baking Championship, competing amongst 12 other pastry chefs for a prize of $25,000. And here to share more is Jaleesa Mason. Hey. Oh my. And who do you have on your lap, Jaleesa?
This is my baby girl, Olive. Say hi, Monica. Say hi.
Hi, Olive. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, wow. I got to tell you, I just started watching you on the actual, what is it, the Spring Bake competition, right? And what I think we're like 3 episodes in, and it's been a nice ride so far. And I'm not gonna lie, because I know you're from East Harlem. I'm really like, that's my girl, only because I'm feeling the flavor you're bringing in. Now, okay. I did hear that you've traveled throughout Europe, and that we did mention that you have your own bakery, but let's just talk about how you first even got into the competition.
Oh, so it's funny. I think so they approached me in the summertime, and I think my daughter was like 8 weeks old, and they approached me on Instagram. It was a recruiting company that the Food Network hired. And I didn't know that at the time. At the time when they reached out to me, I thought it was a scam, because it wasn't like, oh, here's my email at blah, blah, blah at foodnetwork.com. It was at a weird email address. So I was like, scam. So I ignored it. And then a couple of days later, I think maybe a week later, I kept getting emails, I kept getting phone calls, and I was like, okay, maybe this is legitimate. And so when I talked to my husband about it, I said, what if like this is legitimate, like, this is like crazy. And he was like, well, do you want to do it? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just gave birth, and like the bakery, well, at the time we had no staff. So it was just my husband and I in a bakery. And I was like, I don't think this is the right time. We have a baby and 2 kids, no childcare, COVID's crazy. Like, this is not the right time. And he was like, okay, all things aside, like, pretend it's a perfect world. Would you even want to do a competition on Food Network? And I was like, yeah, that would be dope. He was like, then we'll figure it out. Point blank, we'll figure it out. And I was like, I don't know, I'm going to do that. And then we ended up figuring it out. But yeah, it was weird at first. I didn't think it was legitimate.
Well, that's awesome, and thanks for sharing that. That just goes to show you all the possibilities that come from social media platforms appropriately, right? And
right.
Accordingly, right? Because if you're into a certain business, then that's really what you want to be showcasing, right? Exactly. Because that's the kind of attention you want to attract. So as I watch you multitask, and I've been following you on the show, I noticed that in episode 2, you had a major breakdown, a panic attack, for lack of a better word, on air, and they actually showed it. I found that to be a brave action on your part to allow them to show the whole process.
I don't have any control over the filming and the editing, so I didn't know they were actually going to put that part in the episode or not.
How did you feel about that initially?
I felt really mixed. My thing is, up until the episode, like when we're watching the episode live on TV, me and my husband, I'm like, I knew what happened in the episode. He does not. So my thing is, like, I was anxious because I'm like, I have no idea what they're going to show, if they're going to put that part in or not. And it turns out they did. And I feel like I was a little bit worried because they made it seem as if like, oh, the pressure of the competition was getting to me. And what happened was I felt faint because I was not taking care of myself, because I was pumping nonstop around the clock, and I was not re-nourishing myself. And my body just had enough. And so I started to feel faint. And when I started to feel faint and I realized I was fainting during the time challenge, that triggered my panic attack. Because when I realized it's happening, 1, I'm being filmed, Two, competitions is happening right now. I have money on the line. So I'm like, oh my God, why now? So then I started panicking because I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna waste time. I'm not gonna be able to finish, so I triggered a panic attack from all these thoughts. And I think, thank God Cartier was there as someone who also suffers from anxiety, because she knew exactly what to say and how to help me. The other judges, I feel like they wanted to help, but they looked very overwhelmed looking at me. But Cartier was the one that was like, okay. Cartier was the one that was like, I got you. I've been through this. I'm gonna help you count down with me. Like, she got me back down to zero. It was like, we're gonna get you all right. So thank God for her and the medic. The medic helped me, get back to my counseling too. Was checking my breathing, took my my blood to make sure my sugar wasn't too low. Like, she was doing her job too. But I had to thank the whole staff, but I had to take care of myself when I wasn't. And one thing they didn't put in the interview on Food Network was that I was a pumping mom. And that part mattered because it was the reason why I fainted to begin with.
No, well, and thank you for sharing that, and for breaking it down to us, and sharing your truth, right? I mean, look at you right now. You're conducting this interview. You've got Charlie, the taste tester, and Oliver, and the other one. I mean, that's some serious multitasking. So it's nice that you at least know your limits, that you are aware of your limits. But before we go, I do want to share how you have been selling the I guess the experiments, right? Because I'm not quite sure, like, when you made the hibiscus cake, is that something that you've done in the past, or something that you created for the competition? The Mardi Gras cake also, like, are these cakes that you're designing specifically for the competition and creating on the spot?
These cakes are exactly that. So I have never baked or cooked with hibiscus before. I've had it before. I've drunk sorrel before. Like, I'm from New York City, like tons of Caribbean influence, right? So I'm used to the drink. I know the flavor profile, but I have never baked with it or cooked with it. But it is truly inspiring to me to work with hibiscus because I'm all about extract and dye free. And hibiscus gives you exactly that. So when I got hibiscus as my flavor, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yes. So the hibiscus cake, I won it. To be honest with you, I won it. The jam, I knew what I was doing, but the actual cake itself, I had to wing it. And what's crazy is, what people don't understand is, when I'm presenting the cake to the judges, I have no idea what it tastes like. So it wasn't until I recreated for my store that I actually got a whole entire taste of it. And I was like, damn, this is really good.
I think that's so smart of you, though, to do that, right? To
Yeah.
on air and then go, hey, look, we're selling it for a week. How have your sales been since?
Skyrocketed. So I had people coming in just because, I saw you on Food Network. I want to taste the hibiscus cake. The judges went crazy for this praline cake. I want to taste it. I want to taste it. Like, sales have been going up. And if you know anything about hospitality industry, winter is brutal. Winter is a tough time for sales. And so the fact that we got that boost at the end or the very beginning of March, oh yeah, thank God, because hospitality had a huge hit during COVID as it is. So having that was really good.
So before we go, what can you share in what we can look forward to for the rest of the season?
You can look forward to seeing me being quintessentially me, somebody who is someone who was constantly multitasking. I was constantly running, which I think you guys saw in the background everywhere. But I was just trying to do my best and to give the judges what they wanted. I try to do a wide variety of things to not be boring. But, I just want everyone to know, regardless of the results, that I tried my absolute best and I gave it my all.
That's lovely. And I got to tell you, you're a true inspiration for all moms out there, because, part of the thing about becoming a mom is that we tend to put ourselves on the back burner. And while, yes, you do have 2 children to care for, it's lovely to see that you've been able to incorporate them into this next chapter of your life, not only as a mom, but as somebody who's still pursuing her dreams. And on top of that, having it documented. So I just want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I don't want moms to feel like pumping is a handicap or you can't do something or breastfeeding is going to hinder you. It does not. Just make sure you take care of yourself. You absolutely can do anything you put your mind to it, and if you eat.
Exactly. It's very important for all of us to
eat and drink.
Eat and drink, especially when you're over there competing. on
Yeah.
season 8 of the Spring Baking Championship on the Food Network. All right, Jaleesa, everyone. And hey, if you guys want to watch her continue competing on the Food Network's season 8 of Spring Baking Championship, that's happening on Mondays at 8 p.m. And if you're interested on Mo and Jay Pastry, right, you can visit their website at moandjpastry.com and check them out on at Mo_and_J_Pastry and at Sugar Chef. Oh, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about the Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance 2022 Badass Women Festival. Don't go anywhere.